Hello and welcome, everyone. It is nice to see you all. The current times are challenging, to say the least. When I look back, the first half of 2021 seems blurry. What happened this year in April and what last year in April? When did I see the funny dog at the park, which I now walk in 3 times a week? It is hard for me to remember. What happened at the last civil match? When was that exactly? The pandemic changes so much of our daily lives. Did it also affect our memory? Is all that time that we now spend online the reason for the lack of memory? Or is it the unrelenting news cycle going seemingly faster each month? When did the election in Belarus happen? When were the fires in Australia? Was Navalny detained in the spring of 2021 or autumn of 2020? There is so much information available everywhere around us. Do people have the time to read anymore? A push notification would do the job, wouldn't it? How about a short video for simpler consumption? Because who can watch more than a 10-minute video? Did media formats change because our attention span is decreasing? Is snackable content what the audience wants? What is it that the audience wants? I argue that there is a bigger range of media formats emerging. The true aim is to connect to your audience and find out what they need. I'm a social scientist working in media development, so today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on media consumption and why connecting to your audience is key. Memory is fickle. Fickle means changing often and suddenly. There are 2 challenges for our memory: our lives being lived online and an increasingly fast news cycle. The general development is that we are online. We live our lives more and more online. Facts show that the internet is the new place to be. 4.66 billion people are online. That are almost 60% of the global population. In 2015, internet users spent on average about 2 hours on social media every day. Only 5 years later, in 2020, it was already 30 minutes more. We communicate online, we work online, search for information online. Our entertainment is online. We go shopping online, find a partner online. We have events online, like today. Our technical devices are also online, but that's another story. The move to the online world was accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. We had to protect ourselves and others by staying at home. Various limitations of movement forced us to retreat even more into the digital sphere in our professional and private life. No more office days, lunch with colleagues, business trips, and also no family gatherings, no cultural events. We were at home in front of different screens. The content of our days repeated themselves over and over. Get up, shower, eat, work in front of a laptop, eat some more, work in front of a laptop, walk outside, sit on the couch with a book or watching TV, all at home for months. That is a huge challenge for our memories. There are no visual markers or change of location to help memorize situations, conversations, and activities. The lack of cues in the external environment makes it hard to remember things. Plus, social connections also play an important role when it comes to remembering. Days, weeks, months have merged into one. Last Wednesday feels very much like the previous Monday, and it's very hard to know even in which month you might have gone walking in a particular park, let alone the exact day. Perception of time changed, and our lives in such a world affected our memory. That is why it all seems so blurry. The good news is, most scientists reckon that when our lives go back to normal, so will our ability to remember situations, activities, and interactions. The bad news? The news cycle will not slow down. We must take care of ourselves and decide what we consume, how much we can take in, and which sources we trust. So, when we have fought COVID-19 successfully or found a way to live with it, will our lives go back to the pre-pandemic status? Or will our lives take place even more online instead? It looks like the general development will continue and the pandemic only quickened the pace. More activities and services will take place online, and the time we sit in front of digital screens will increase bit by bit. What will be the consequences of us spending so much time on the internet? That is a huge and ongoing debate with a lot of different observations and theories. One theory discusses that our life in the digital sphere changes our attention span. There is the observation that the attention span of people is shorter than it used to be. It went down from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. The study shows people now have more things to focus on, but often focus on things for short periods of time. Overall content is increasing, and because we have the urge for newness, we constantly switch to the hottest topic. It is argued that the media formats became shorter to cater to this development. The success of TikTok with its short videos is used as an example to show that the observation is correct. Short video formats grab our attention and fulfill our desire for newness. It is not about a seemingly smaller attention span. TikTok mastered the art of getting people's attention. So, we are not goldfish. Our attention span is not decreasing. And by the way, it is a myth that goldfish have short memories. Just in July of this year, TikTok allowed its users to create videos that are up to 3 minutes long from the former 1 minute length. They got people's attention, and now they want the audience to stay on the platform, which is the same route that YouTube took years ago, where videos are no longer restricted in length. So it's not about the size. A lot of longer media formats are wildly successful and in high demand. There's room for more than memes and tweets. Take, for example, the Deutsche Welle YouTube channel containing documentaries in English. It quickly became the most successful YouTube channel at Deutsche Welle with 2.5 million subscribers. Because of the success, a Spanish channel with documentaries was created, which now has 2.8 million subscribers. There are other formats that deal with highly complex topics which establish themselves. Last Week Tonight has been popular in the US for years now. It is a comedy show that focuses on one important topic for 20 to 25 minutes, like infrastructure, for example, so streets and bridges. It includes in-depth research, explanations of legislation processes, and possible steps for people to take action. A lot of people really like watching it. Well, you say, those are all video formats. But let me tell you that the most successful format in the weekly German newspaper, Die Zeit, the Times, is the longest one. It is dossiers. You can also take the growing world of podcasts and the rise of newsletters to show that our attention span is fine. That is why I would argue that there is a diversification of content formats happening. The examples that I just talked about also show that people still seek well-made content, and that next to entertainment, they also want to educate themselves. So not all is lost. You ask, how will I know what my target audience is looking for? Ask them. Whatever you want to achieve in the media sphere, whether you are a media worker or an NGO working in the field, connect to your audience. Listen to them and to their stories. Audiences seek different media formats and they appreciate quality. If it is well written, people will read. Shorter is not better or even in higher demand. Short formats have the purpose to grab our attention. Longer formats allow for explanations and details so that the audience will understand an issue more thoroughly. We live in an online world and the fight for our attention is on. People look for information. People look for entertainment. And people look for answers. Ask your audience about their lives and needs, and you'll have their attention. Get to know your audience and find a way to communicate with them. Create open spaces. Put questions for them in a joint messenger group. Involve them in finding interesting stories. Ask them to support you by participating in a small survey. For example, I subscribe to an online magazine. One of the journalists prepared a story on humor. Through an email where he talked about his plan, he asked to send in your favorite joke, which is what I did. I responded by sending a joke that I really like. It was a small interaction, but it was fun and I felt great. And I remembered it when I read his article later on. Quality content will have its audience. No matter the format, staying critical is key. The focus is on getting to know the audience and its needs, tell stories that connects to them, and think about how to best present those stories. The challenge is to support media workers and media organizations in this quest. We sit at the same table. We strive to support and motivate people with our projects and give them the spotlight. Even if everything goes faster, let us take time to listen to each other and pay attention to other people's lives. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniela, a lot. And we now want to ask again if you have some questions. And if I may, I want to make a link to our main topic, project ideas and partnership. So our participants develop their ideas with partnerships. So probably, Daniela, you can share some maybe good examples of international projects and maybe some new one that already work with that challenges that you described. So could you share some practical examples?
Well, of course. So the Deutsche Welle Akademie works in different topics, and one of them is the training of journalists. And there we have a very interesting program where we work with the Ukrainian Media and Communication Institute, and we work together with universities. And it was said that it's not easy to work with universities, and that's why we chose a partner to support us in this quest. And so we work in this project, and we get together lecturers who work in the journalism departments of universities, and we want to improve their educational skills. And It's a very successful project so far. We started in 2020. So we had to quickly move from an offline project plan to an online plan. And it works so far really well. And I do think it is because we have asked a lot of questions to the lecturers. So before we started the project, we did a bigger survey and asked many different lecturers at different universities about their current work and what they are missing, what they would like to work on further. And also, because we chose to work with one university at the time, we also then again asked them what is what they need, where should we focus on, so that we do exactly what they were like, what they need, what they're lacking of, where they think they need support. And of course, it's of course the demand for the training in online tools is higher than we estimated when we started. And they appreciate it a lot. Like some tools are quite easy, but there's such a huge amount of tools, you get easily stressed. So we show them what they can work with easily and what they can share with the students. And so far we have a very nice feedback, and that makes us happy. And of course, we will continue to improve the project, but it has been great.
Thank you very much, Daniela.
Yeah.
And I actually have one more question, because I got so much interested in this creep culture thinking, and I was really trying to research more, because it was a new term, but really a term that I knew that this exists, but I didn't know how to call it. So thanks to you now, I know how to call it. So I was assuming, do you think that among young people, especially the students, the clip culture is existing just because they have a lot of things to read at the university, and normally they don't read the whole book or the whole materials, they just scan it? So do you think this clip culture comes from the educational systems that we have at the moment?
Actually, I don't think it's because of that. I think, as I said, our attention is now like, well, that's what everybody is after, yeah? Everybody wants your attention. So, and that's why we have those memes and like short videos, like very flashy and fast changing. And also, when you scroll through Facebook feed, the videos start moving, so your eyes go to the video, so, and it gets your attention. So I think this is that's not the reason. I think it's because we are like, this is how you get the attention of someone. And it's also well, some form of entertainment, but information. And so, whenever you are more interested in something, you can just watch the video for longer, or you can like browse to find a more in-depth article or video about the topic you've just seen on maybe say Instagram. So like, I don't know about the educational system. There's also, it is stressful to study. I remember it when I did study, to read all the materials that you were supposed to read, and you skim through
Exactly.
or you read in depth. So I think it became, in my opinion, it became harder because the fight for attention like was always there, but I think it kept like, it's accelerated, like it's stronger now, because you have the screen and in front of you, and so so many things want that you look at this specific thing, like advertisement that flashes, and so yeah, I think it became harder And of course, the youth is targeted as well as other groups of people.
Exactly. I just can tell from my perspective, from my experience, that wherever I just enter some social media accounts, like, I don't know, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I'm just automatically scrolling very fast without reading the whole thing, just the headline of something, and then just trying to guess myself what happens. And I think it also comes from the fact that we know that we should not spend a lot of time in social media. And because I feel guilty at that time, I'm trying to like scroll down very fast so that I don't spend much time. And now I understand that's how my like clip thinking culture evolves. So yeah, now I really like into understanding every time when I do this, like reflecting through these terms that you explained. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but don't feel too bad. I mean, you know, they play with our with our like psyche. So what I do sometimes, I tell myself, okay, it's let's say it's a quarter to 5 or to 6, wherever you are right now, and until 5, I'll scroll through Reddit or Twitter, and at 5 o'clock, I'll leave it.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, we should have really good time management and not get trapped in the social media accounts where we are, to really be able to really strictly manage our time. For using social media. Yeah. Thank you very much for your contribution. I have no questions actually, but in case if someone else has, I think we can still have.
I have one probably for the future, but also I want to invite our participants to the stage. You know, for this you need to click on blue button. Yeah, blue button. Ask for sharing video and audio, and then we can add you also here with us. And I want to ask, what is your prediction for the future? So it's really interesting what social media will look like. So maybe clip culture, would it be even worse, or maybe we return to the book and magazines? I don't know. So do you have some predictions?
Yeah. Well, like I said, there is a diversification of content, and I think it will continue. I mean, I don't know what will come next, to be honest. Let's see. Even shorter videos, or I don't know, something flying by. I don't know. I think it will diversify more, and I think people will look for the things that they connect the best. For example, I don't connect to Instagram. That's not mine, but I really like Twitter. So I think this will more diversify, but not so much the platforms, but the content. So I think that will keep going. And I do think that some people, and this has already been like a movement, will just lock out and, you know, go on holidays without a device because it's too much. So I think people will get more like conscious, and also the general public will get more conscious what it does to us, you know, to have a smartphone by our side at all times. Yeah, so there is, I think, a new development for again those glasses. So I'm quite critical about that, because they can just take everything, like tape everything, like they can record their surroundings. And I don't know if this will be successful. Like Google Glass tried it once, it wasn't successful, so let's see. But yeah, so that's what I think.
Thank you. So one of the possible trends, it will be kind of digital downshifting, I guess. Yes. So maybe
I think some groups
camps without smartphones will be popular in the future.
Yeah. So yeah, I think because it's you know, you already feel sometimes, I don't know, in the summer when you're at a lake with friends and you haven't touched your phone in hours, you were like, this was nice. I didn't even look at my phone. So I hope so. Yeah, I must say, it's like personally, I hope so.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing your experience, your ideas and examples. And I think we can try to move on. Mirana, what do you think?
Yes, I completely agree with this. And after such a interesting input, I think it's time to check what actually our audience think about this. And I see that we are here like around 8 people, and want to say thank you to Daniela one more time. And if you can also be part of our practical part, would be great. But if you have to leave, we will of course understand this, because we're really thankful that you fit us into your tight schedule and were so kind to share the wisdom with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to speak, and I will leave you to it. And I hope you will have a fruitful discussion with your participants, and hopefully interesting project proposals come out of it, or even new connections, right? Because that's what we're all lacking in this online world, is finding new connections. So, and this is a great platform to do that. So I hope that will happen. Thank you so much.